Hey friends, it's Laurie. I'm so happy you stopped by because today I'm making 4 home decor patriotic DIYs. A farmhouse flag truck, a patriotic fairy house, a July 4th star, and a red, white, and blue candle holder. I used mostly Dollar Tree supplies to help keep the costs down, and as always, I hope you have fun crafting with me, so let's get busy. To make the farmhouse flag truck, I'm starting by using one of the wooden trucks from the Dollar Tree. It measures about 7 inches in length and 3.5 inches in height. The bottom of the truck is pretty much open except for 2 pieces of wood that hold the truck together, and I'm going to fill that in using a craft stick. I cut off one rounded end, then placed the craft stick in the truck. Using a pencil, I marked off the other end, and I cut that off as well. Now that it's cut, I'm attaching it into the back of my truck using my Starbond thick glue. It sets up natural wood pieces super quick, and I do have the company linked below in case you'd like to check it out. Now that I have the craft stick in place, I'm adding 5 rectangle wood pieces to the truck. I found these at Hobby Lobby, but you can always cut up a couple of craft sticks and use them instead. I'm adding 2 to the roof and 2 to the hood, but I cut one short enough to tuck up in between the front of the truck. I then used my Starbond thick glue to attach that, as well as the other 4 pieces. I let the glue set up for a couple of minutes, and now I'm painting my truck with some red acrylic paint, but you can pretty much paint it any color you'd like. With the red paint dry, I'm now painting the back wooden pieces of the truck with some light brown acrylic paint. For me, this is just personal preference. You can always keep your truck one solid color. With the paint completely dry, I'm using a piece of sandpaper and I'm giving my truck a rustic vibe. I don't have any set plans on where to sand it, so I'm just kind of sanding it here and there. I'm adding tires onto my truck using 4 bottle caps. You can leave them natural if you'd like. Mine had printing on the inside, so I'm giving each one a coat of blue acrylic paint. I let them dry and I dug through my button jar, finding 4 little silver buttons that I'm going to attach in the center of each bottle cap. This step is completely optional. You can always leave them as is or even paint a little circle in the center of each. I attached all 4 by adding a dot of hot glue in the center. Attaching them to the truck was super easy. I just used my hot glue gun. I'm adding a small sign to both sides of my truck, and I'm cutting 2 pieces of blue and white gingham ribbon, large enough to cover the doors. Now cut, I use my glue gun to attach them. I printed out the words USA Flag Company using Canva. You can always use your Cricut or even handwrite it on a piece of paper. If you'd like to use mine, I'll have it linked below and it will take you directly to the site. I cut them out so they're a bit smaller than the fabric, and I used a glue gun to attach them. To help the flag stand in the bed of the truck, I'm adding in a small piece of Sahara foam. I had this left over from a past project, and you can find this at the Dollar Tree. I found the measurements by pressing it against the top of the truck, and then I cut it to size. To attach it, add some hot glue into the bed of the truck. To hide the green of the Sahara foam, I used the same brown acrylic paint and I gave it a coat. I'm placing 6 patriotic flags in the back of my farmhouse truck. You can pretty much use anything you'd like. I found these cute American flag cake toppers at the Dollar Tree and they work perfect. I placed my first 2 side by side in the back. I then added on my next 4, trimming off a bit of the bottom so that they staggered in size. The nice thing about having the Sahara foam in the back is when you first place them, if you're not happy, you can just pull them out and move them around. You can use the truck as is. I wanted to add a little greenery in the back, so I'm using a few pieces that I had left over from a past project. They're cut into small pieces, and using my glue gun, I attached them in between the flag poles. To finish up, I'm adding 3 stars to the side of the truck. I bought this bag of assorted foam star stickers at Walmart. I'm using 3 of the smallest size, and I painted them in red, white, and blue. The stars are super sticky. I removed the protective backing and attached them directly onto the truck. And with that, my farmhouse patriotic truck is complete. If you're new to my channel, please consider clicking on that little red subscribe button below and leaving me a thumbs up. I love reading everyone's comments, and if you're a returning friend, you know I'm always so happy to see you. To make the Patriotic Fairy House, I'm using one of the Dollar Tree doll houses, and you can find these in the toy department. I'm painting mine, so I popped out the windows and the front door. With those pieces removed, I'm now sliding the roof off of the house. I'm using patriotic colors, so I sprayed the windows and the door with blue spray paint, the roof with red spray paint, and the base of the house with white spray paint. After they were sprayed, I let them set up overnight so all of the pieces were completely dry. I then carefully snapped them all back in place. With all the pieces put back in place, it's now as easy as sliding the roof back onto the house. I'm adding some simple star accents to the front of the house. I bought this bag of foam stars at Walmart, and I'm using a medium and 2 small. I painted the 2 smaller stars using red and white acrylic paint and the medium star with my blue acrylic paint. They all have sticky backing. I removed the protected layer on the white star and attached it to the blue. Then, using my glue gun, I attached both to the front of the house, the blue and white star on the top and the red star on the door. To make the riser and base for my fairy house, I'm using an 8 by 5.5 inch oval wooden decor sign from the Dollar Tree. I removed the hanger and there will be 2 small holes, but they'll be hidden. To rise up the base, I'm using 4 Dollar Tree tumbling tower blocks. I'm using my Starbond thick glue to attach them. It sets natural wood up super quick, and if you'd like to try it out, I do have the company linked below. Now dry. To attach them, I space them evenly on the bottom of the base. The legs are tightly glued in place, and I want to give the illusion of grass around the house, so I'm painting it with some light green acrylic paint. Adding the house and the riser together, it's super easy. I added hot glue to the bottom of the house and placed it near the back of the riser. I'm making a walkway to the house, and I'm using some glow-in-the-dark solar stones from Temu. I bought these a while ago and I thought this would be a fun way to use them. I used E6000 and I added it in front of the door. From there, I placed down 3 rows of the solar rocks. They appear white until exposed to the light, and then when placed in the dark, mine glow a pretty blue color. I'm standing an American flag out in front of the fairy house. I'm using one of the cake topper flags that I found at the Dollar Tree. For the stand, I'm using a mini wooden spool, and I already had these on hand. I added some E6000 in the spool and then placed in the flagpole. I added some E6000 onto the riser and then attached the flag. I want to add on some greenery, so I'm using a leftover Dollar Tree winter bottle brush tree. I used my clippers, cut it in 2, and I removed the base. The bottom piece definitely needed some shaping, so I just used my scissors and I trimmed up the sides. I need to get rid of that white snow, so I'm using some green acrylic paint and an old paintbrush, and I'm dabbing it on the 2 trees. I let them dry completely and then attached each of them to the sides of the house using my E6000. To finish up, I'm adding a little red fairy along with a red mushroom to the front of the house. I found these at the Dollar Tree, and I'm not going to permanently attach them, so I can move them around and add other things to the house. This cute Patriotic Fairy House is complete, and you can always change up the colors and the fairies for different holidays and seasons. To make the patriotic star, I'm using one of the large wooden stars from the Dollar Tree. I used a pencil and I separated the star into 5 sections. I made the middle section just a bit wider than the others. I'll be using both red and white acrylic paint for the star. I'm painting the top section with my red acrylic paint. With that complete, I'm now painting the middle section with my white acrylic paint. When I'm done, I'm now going back to the top and I'm adding some white paint to the red. I'm working my paintbrush back and forth and blending them together just a bit to give it an ombre effect. I'm now adding on the next stripe of red. When I'm done, I'll then follow up with another stripe of white. When I'm done with the white stripe, I'm using the same paintbrush, and once again I'm blending the edges of the red stripes into the white. I'm gently moving my paintbrush back and forth, merging the colors together. I painted the bottom of the star red and then used some white paint on a paintbrush and merged the red and the white together, once again giving it that ombre effect. I'm accenting the edges and the stripes on my star with a dark blue colored pencil. I sketched around the outside and then rubbed it in with my fingers. It's not a super dramatic effect, but it gives you a little hint of blue. After working my way around the outside, I followed the inside stripes on the star and I rubbed those in as well. I'm adding a hanger to the back of the star and I'm using some red ribbon that I had on hand. I cut a 20-inch piece and then hot glued the two ends on the back. To give the hanger a bit more strength, I cut 2 extra pieces of ribbon and then glued them across the ends. I'm adding on a 4-inch tall wooden number 4. I picked mine up at Joann's, but you can find them at Michael's, Walmart, and Hobby Lobby. Along with the number 4, I'm using the letters TH from this Dollar Tree wooden letter pack. They're 1.5-inch letters, and I painted the number 4 white and my letters red. Just like the star, I used my dark blue colored pencil and I sketched around the outside of the number and the letters. I'm adding some stars to the number 4 and I'm using these pretty blue foil stars. I think I picked mine up at the grocery store, but you can pretty much find them anywhere. I peeled them from the strip and added them onto the 4. Another option for the number 4 is you can paint it blue, and then instead of using the blue stars, you can use the silver stars. I'm adding the number 4 and the TH onto the star. In addition to those, I'm adding on one American flag, and I found this cake topper pack at the Dollar Tree. I'm attaching all 4 of them using my E6000. To attach the flag, I'm turning it backwards, adding on the E6000, and then placing it down at an angle. With the 4th and the flag in place, to hide that little hanger hole at the top, I'm placing down one of the red foil stars. And with that, my 4th of July star is ready to hang. To make my red, white, and blue candle holder, I started with 1 bag of white sand from the Dollar Tree. For the base, I'm using a 5-inch tall recycled glass container. I'm using a measuring cup and I'm measuring 1/2 cup of the white sand. I'm using some everyday blue food coloring and adding in a few drops. From there, I'm simply mixing the two together. If you want a lighter blue, add in a few less drops, and if you want a darker, just add in a few more. I'm adding the blue sand to the container and then giving it a little shake to level it off. My next layer is the white sand and I'm pouring it directly from the package. I'm mixing the last 1/2 cup of my white sand with some red food coloring. I added in a few drops and mixed it all together. You can make these candle holders in all shapes and sizes. And when you place them around the room, it definitely gives your home that patriotic vibe. To finish my candle holder, I poured in my last layer of red. To finish up, I'm using one of the LED star candles from the Dollar Tree. I pressed the on button on the bottom and placed it on the top of the candle holder. This DIY is easy, inexpensive to make, and by using an LED candle, you can leave it safely lit. Here we are at the end of the video, and I really hope you had fun making these patriotic red, white, and blue DIYs with me. If you're new to my channel and you're thinking, hey, I'd like to come back and hang out with her again, don't forget to click that little red subscribe button below. If you're looking for more home decor ideas, I will leave some linked at the end of this video as well as in my description. I hope you all have a safe and an amazing day, and I will see you soon. Bye, everybody!